Hey everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released into open beta Path of Exile. And we're going to be doing so as the Shadow class. Path of Exile is an action RPG sort of in the vein of Diablo, Torchlight, any of those games. You go, you kill monsters, you collect loot, but there's a lot of interesting twists and turns, and it's a game I've been interested in for a while, but I actually did not play in the closed beta, so this will be one of my first times venturing into it, playing on the day that open beta is released. So, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, there could be some latency issues. We're going to see some dialogue here on the left from some people talking. So, pretty much how this game starts out is that you are a criminal who's been dumped on. Pretty much, here we go. This guy gets sixed by a zombie, and the very first thing you do is you gotta fight somebody. And this is going to give us an opportunity to talk about the game a little bit. They do have some tooltips, which is nice, because there's a few things we can pick up here. And these are two of the first things I want to talk about if you're unfamiliar with this game. So let's see, that's our character sheet. We're looking for inventory. First off, weapons. You'll notice that there's sockets already if you're familiar with this kind of game. It's essentially each weapon has some kind of stat bonus to it for doing some kind of damage. This one is a dagger that gives critical damage and has 3 sockets, a red, a green, and a blue. Now gems are a part of what gives you active skills here. And pretty much what you do with the gem is that you drop it into the correct slot. You get a skill in your toolbar, so I can double strike people now. Now some really cool things about this is that if I don't want to use this gem anymore, I just right click, drop it back off. So it's not like they're permanently stuck forever with that skill. And the second thing you notice of 1 to 70 there, that's a leveling bar. You can level your gems, you can trade with them later on or switch them out for something else, but it's a very interesting way to do this. Or essentially an interesting way to do skills and do weapons. And we'll talk a little bit more about the sockets as we go forward. The second thing just to keep in mind, and some of you all have been curious about, if you're following the game, there's 2 other things that really stand out to me as someone who played Diablo 2 extensively. Diablo 1, well, I was kind of little when it came out, and Diablo 3 for a while. You have flasks, and you'll see here, essentially when you drink it, which you have the same sort of hotkeys here, it'll restore your health, but you don't totally take it down. It's just bit by bit you can restore them in town. Then the other thing, probably the thing, if you've been referred to this game, you've probably seen an idea of the skill tree sometime. It immediately evokes Final Fantasy X Spirit Grid, but what you do is, as you gain levels, and you have no points right now, but you can go down one part of the path, or another part of the path, where it can be increase attack speed, movement speed, projectile damage, one-hand damage. So there's a lot of different ways to specialize. I'm a duelist, so it's a hybrid class that focuses on dexterity and mana, and as you see here, spell damage, increase spell damage, cast speed. And then some of these bigger nodes are sort of bigger bonuses, and then we zoom out just a little bit, you start to get an extent of what this looks like. And eventually you can work your way towards some of the biggest nodes, like Pain Attunement, which these are big bonuses that have some kind of drawback. So 30% more damage when low on life, so that's kind of like being backed into a corner. Chaos Inoculation, maximum life becomes 1, immune to chaos damage. That is crazy. Just crazy stuff. And if you just want the full look here real quick, yeah, there's a lot of places you can choose from. You're not going to fill it up with every character. And Path of Exile, if you don't know, it's free. You can download it, play it. Now there is a little microtransaction thing here, but this isn't a pay-to-win game, which is the other thing I really like about it. It is, you can go through all these levels, there's no skill boost or anything like that. You gain experience, fight things, and keep going. The only things that are microtransaction based are essentially cosmetic power-ups, or things like character stats. But considering you start with 24, and this guy hits a lot harder in melee with my sorcerer, surprise, surprise. So there's what a double strike looks like. It's left click, right click. And this guy's going to be getting more in people's faces and probably taking some fancy damage here. Because I don't have as much mana. Let's see, did you all drop anything? No. So we're just going to wander around here a little bit, see if we can get some items out, some chests, because I'd like to show you all kind of what it's like. You have your mini-map on the top right. You can have a Diablo 2 style map overlay, but I think for this video it's better if you can see what's going on the screen.
Feeling a bit short on mana.
I'm sure you are. So I just had to flask, and you'll see there I didn't use up all of it. But it looks like my guy has some crowd control issues. And you have some mana control issues, so we drink from the flask, and that was actually a lot of mana I had to make up for. So I'm going to have to be a little more judicious with my slashing here. Let's see if I can take things out maybe one at a time. Because I don't have to double strike everything. So it's like a lot of other action RPGs. You go, you slash, you kill. But if you'll notice one thing that isn't dropping right now, it's gold. And that's another thing that I like about this game, and it's something that turned me off about Diablo 3, is that by the time you get to the end game, oh good, here's some items. But by the time you get to the end game, Diablo 3 is really just a gold grind to see what you can buy in the auction house for gold. And it is a little bit too far of a step from Diablo 2, where people would sort of trade chat, their trade channels didn't really work anymore. There's just a bunch of trade spam. But what you get instead is items that you can trade, barter with. Scrolls of Wisdom, which is essentially identifying scrolls. You can use those as currency because you've been dumped on an island with a bunch of other people who have been exiled. Coins mean nothing here. So this is interesting. We have Glass Shank, Superior Driftwood Scepter. We're going to dual wield with this guy. And you'll see the different color slots. We'll get into sort of what kind of gems go with what as we get more, but you've got items here. These are all very basic quality, but everything has sockets. Sockets are all about your active skills. If they're linked like this, they'll actually work together. If they're separate like this, not so much. But it's not entirely bound to your weapon except for damage. But now we can actually dual strike with two weapons. I have a feeling it's going to be super effective. Maybe. There we go.
It's nice not being dead yet.
So good, we leveled. So we get to take our first stab into the skill tree here. And we already have kind of a monumental decision to make. Are we going to be focused on melee with this guy or spell damage? One of the appeals of the duelist with me is that it's a class that does a bit of both. So we're going to dabble in some spell damage as well. But I think for starting out surviving, let's try and focus a little bit on... Let's try and focus on some melee damage right now, or some attack speed. We'll get to this spell stuff later, once I start actually getting spells. So, keep on moving, attack even faster, get surrounded by guys. Now that I have some armor, I'm not dying as quickly. And if you see right there, that bar shows my skills leveling. So let's hear Driftwood Club, you probably don't do me a lot of good. So let's hear 6 to 8 damage, 20% stun on enemies, 3 to 11, we want that. And we don't really care about elemental damage right now. So, I know that has... Let's see here, those have link sockets too, so that's nice. That will be useful later on. But, like I said, we've been dumped on the shores here. It's kind of like a Legend of Grimrock kind of thing, where, hey, look, you get to... You're forgiven for your crimes because you get to go to this place with giant guys like Hillock who are just out to kill you. What are we doing now? Let's dual strike.
Feeling a bit short on mana.
I bet you are. So, strike. So he hits. It's pretty much... Okay, so there we go. We got a fancy helmet. Oh wow, you get some really good items here, and we leveled up our skill gem. And all that means when you level it up, is that, look, it does more damage now, but unfortunately the flip side is that it costs more mana to use the item. So we have a more effective double strike. So we also, but see, the other thing is that, okay, we got a rare. I've actually not gotten a rare on this before, so right click on an item and then left click to identify it. So this is a claw, gain 3 life to each enemy hit by your attacks. That's good, 20% physical damage. Maximum mana is increased, accuracy ratings increased, so we're actually going to move this out of here, and this is a green slot, so that really helps us. Hello, Nailed Fist. So maybe we chose wisely by going there. So we actually get a rare Hate Impaler at the very beginning. Good job with the video. Then we're going to identify this as well. And it does elemental damage on top of having 2 sockets. So the loot train is definitely on for right now. We're not going to worry about that. This is all stuff we're going to barter away. And you'll see what that looks like very shortly. Okay, so into town. Now this has been characterized as an MMO action RPG. And the reason for that, you'll see you have the global channel here where people are chatting away. You have a notice board where people can talk, or where you can meet up with other people. You have familiar little exclamation points for quests. So let's go ahead. This is the quest for Hillock.
Where'd you learn to fight like that? No, don't tell me. We exiles have no history.
No, exiles don't have history. That's exciting. But let's see here. We already have a dual strike gem. I don't believe we need another one unless we just want to have one that's a mana cost 7 instead of a mana cost 8. But it doesn't have that bonus there. But what is cool is that, let's see here, Freezing Pulse. That's a very good crowd control ability. And I have mana that can use it as well. Or we can go for Fire Trap. And Fire Trap lasts for 30 seconds and deals 1 to 5 fire damage. Base duration is 8 seconds, and we're gonna try the Fire Trap. Now you'll see right now. See, we have no gold. And actually, I don't think we have any green sockets to put that gem yet. So one of our goals in bartering for items is going to be, and we have some Scrolls of Wisdom do it, is to try and get a green socket, because it doesn't just have to be in your weapon to use that ability. So let's go ahead. We're not going to use the Driftwood Scepter. And see, we offer this. They offer a Scroll Fragment. 5 of these will turn into a Scroll of Wisdom, which is this. We don't need a Goat Hide Buckler. We don't need a Glass Shank. We don't need an Iron Gauntlet. And we don't need a Driftwood Club. So look, we can get 1 Scroll of Wisdom for that trash. And let's see here, what kind of stuff do you buy? What kind of stuff do you sell? Okay. So we got some armor choices, some weapon choices. Like I said, we're going to want something with another green scroll. So we're going to see what some of the other shops have as well. Because right now we're very much an intelligence group. And see, we have a few different kinds of ways to block or avoid damage. There's evasion rating, there's energy shield, all that good stuff. And these vendors don't reset very often. I believe it's only when you level. But there's basic things such as that, evasion rating, armor, and we're a dexterity class, so pretty much our defense, and this is something where I'm still a little unfamiliar with it, because like I said, I've only been reading up on this, is that it seems like we're focusing more on evasion rating than armor. It seems like something where you want both, and especially where you want resistance. But we'll get back to that. We gotta see what some of these other people have. So here's another quest.
No, it's watching.
And we're going to be finding a medicine cabinet. And you also sell items.
There's an
And
island.
then there's another quest
Away offshore.
to find a medicine chest. So, what do you know? Find the medicine chest on Tidal Island. And if you're looking at your map, this is where we're going to. So we got to get to a totally different area first. So let's see what Nessa sells. She sells belts, we're going to be looking for, and she sells bows and flasks, which we can't afford. See, some of the flasks actually come with cool benefits too, so that's the other thing I really like, is that every item can have some kind of benefits or magic roll, or things can be upgraded. But you see, it's more expensive because it requires an orb of transmutation, so I don't know if this is going to be totally like third-party, essentially gold seller proof. I'm sure there'll be some way that you can use real money to go outside the game and try and buy items, but it's certainly not, hey look, pay $10 for 1,000 gold. Play too much WoW, play too much Diablo to really worry about that. So see, mana flask, and you can only have 5 flasks. There's no like special purchase. Hey look,
Still
you can
alive,
have
are we?
you can have even more flask. So I think we're going to go with some of the evasion gear that we saw here. So we have some armor, we have some armor, we have some armor. We do want some of that because we're not going to mitigate all damage. And quite frankly, there's going to be plenty of stuff that we pick up. So I think what we're going to do instead is go for a green, let's see here, so that's plate, that's armor. It's a scary looking shield. Alright, so 11 to maximum life. Yeah, let's do that. Cost of 2 scrolls of wisdom, but we get more life, which is good, because we have 74. We get to add our fire trap, which is fun. And you can see that charging up can set up to 3 traps at a time. We're going to roast some baddies with that. And I didn't mean to click off there. Any other items I can get. Maybe some better gloves. I want to see what we can do about a belt, but that was from the other vendor.
Mhm.
Alright, so belt. Ah, I can't afford those. Okay, rings, no. Alright, looks like we're gonna go kill some things. Like I said, I just kind of want to give you all a look and see what the gameplay looks like. This game looks great. Oh yeah, stash. You have 4 stash slots now. That is something you can buy with real money, additional stash slots. That and character slots are really the 2 sort of game things you can purchase. But otherwise, it's pretty much a free, almost a steal of a bargain. So I could do multiplayer, but I think I'm just going to stick with, right now, going into the shores. This is a lovely day. Why not have a bunch of zombies hanging around? Hey look, we're setting a trap. And see, you can click target that, and those guys are now on fire. Lovely. You can have 3 traps set at a time. They don't take up a prohibitive amount of mana. And unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to show you what the skill linking looks like right now. It just depends on what we grab. So hey look. Doing Scavenger. It's a good time to be... well, it's a good time for me to forget what middle mouse button... Okay, they resist chaos. Which is a nice little indicator to have up there. So let's look at my inventory real quick. I just want to see what dropped. Look there. 2 skills, 1 skill, and then you get a bow that's linked. And linked skills are pretty much... they will work together. They will work in tandem. Like if I get a blue and red gem that'll work nicely, they'll actually compound one another. And the developers are very open-minded there, sort of treat it as, hey, it's pretty cool if people come up with things that are different instead of, hey, you broke our system, let's nerf it to the ground. Not gonna name any names there, but let's... I'm using a lot of traps right now, and I don't really know if these skills are going to mesh very well. I imagine they will, because I'm going to need some crowd control that will help me soften up people that come by. Because it is nice that they catch on fire. So how do I ID stuff? That's the Scroll of Wisdom. Oh, one other cool thing, if you are thinking about going into the open beta, the developers have said they've done the last character reset they will ever do. Meaning that your character that you have in the open beta will stay there when the game actually goes into live final. So you don't have to worry about it. I'm getting beat a little bit. Okay, so I have multiple mana flasks. I might as well use them. And I have some skills that are continuing to level. So, another rusty cask. We'll go through our items once we fill up our inventory, which I'm sure we're pretty close. I don't know how I feel about the trap being on my mid-click button. I could use a better mouse. But yeah, like I said, it's a action RPG. Make things explode, and I just leveled up one of my skills. Oh my god, those guys just snuck up on me. Skulking wretch.
Feeling a bit short on man.
Yeah, I bet you are, still. So, click to level up the fire trap gem. So we have hit level 1. Cooldown time is 8 seconds to reuse. This is what happens when we level up that gem. I just want to see. So it deals more fire damage, same cooldown. So not bad. Nothing too great here. Maybe this chest will have something. Not quite. So I want to see if I can fight sort of another elite pack here, because you got those floating around. We can have 3 traps at a time. And I have those out.
I'm
Good time to level.
Wants me dead.
Good timing on the leveling. Now I'm killing things with one hit. Like I said, it's nice to go around with a rare claw just from the start. Oh good, I can't... Oh! Whoa. And I died because somebody thought it was a good idea to rain fire on me, and I just thought, there's fire on me. And see, that's another important point. Instances were set after 8 to 15 minutes. So this is an instance. So if I were to say AFK in town, that's what our overlay map looks like. I went all the way over there. If I were to leave and come back later, this would all be respawned. Which could be good if you're grinding. I might as well go ahead and spend another talent point here. I'm using my traps a lot. But I got really good melee, so we should really... Let's see if we can work towards increasing our one-handed damage. So movement speed's always good, especially if you're racing the level. So my traps are there to soften up, and my claws are there to finish them off. So let's see this time if I can kill things without catching on fire and not potting. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, so there's our elite. I was just saying I was looking for one. And that is damn annoying ability. That's the dual strike the crap out of you. I'm having to tank a lot of stuff here all of a sudden. But one well-placed fire trap took all that out. So what do I got? Gauntlets, ring. Said I'm just into scroll of wisdom. That's like free. That's like actual currency. So, and it's nice that they have the little.
Too much baggage.
Yeah, too much baggage. We do want that coral ring. Let's see here. So blues are the magic. That's what we want. Nailed fist isn't going to do me a lot of good. What does the chest got? Small mana flask. So I can refill that in town, and another chest. It's just raining chests in here. So not a lot more in terms of bows, but we already have one ring that's going to increase our life, and someone wants to kill us. Good job, Dune Scavenger. Let's see. And that's a kind of funny conundrum here is, this is what I buy things with. Do I want to identify this item? So I can't just blindly identify everything. Although I'll want to, I believe, to get better value. But for now, I don't really have a lot of gems. So it's kind of like the early game of other ARPGs anyway, where it's just you rely on 1 or 2 skills to try and break through. Said I just kind of play this one from the top. See, that's where my scroll wheel kind of doesn't play. Oh, here comes a lot more people. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. Said I'm playing this on pretty much max settings, but that's probably not going to totally translate on the recording. So,
Too much baggage.
yeah, it's easier to play from there. So, Scroll of Wisdom, pick you up. Like I said, it's good to just kill things and make them catch on fire. Very poor placement of the trap. Let's use that flask, which fortunately restored itself. Okay, anything there? Plate vest, rusted hatchet, not really. I gotta be better about this trap placement. They do a lot of burst damage starting out. I like the burning damage afterwards too. Is it just anything to make these guys soften up a little bit? Okay, Jerk is the first to reach level 48. That's exciting. He probably had a much easier time downloading than I did. Yeah, people arguing about Diablo 3. I'll just say I got my money's worth out of it. I know, even though I did the annual pass, it was worthwhile. I just lost interest. I made it to Paragon level 1 with the Barbarian, but that was way later. I played a Witch Doctor pretty much at launch, and kind of stopped after Nightmare, so gotta pick up this stuff when it drops. So, good game, just... Whoa! Flashbomb. So what is... I got some indicator up there, I'm not sure what it means, but they're on fire and they died, so I will take that to the bank. So, it's interesting, I say I want to do a melee build, yet I'm using my fire trap a lot more than I was expecting. In fact, our double strike's nearing another level, so that's good. We got slow mana regeneration. But I think with the items we got early, at least it's the right call. Now, my understanding with the skill system is that you get some respect points. I don't think it's like a system where you keep replenishing your respect points, but you do, if you don't like where you move, you can move back some, but it is literally, I can only put points in the places that are linked to where I start, or where I've put a skill point in. So let's just work our way back around the map. In fact, I can't really move that map like that. Okay. From the looks of it, I have been most of where I can go. In fact, I just kind of turned myself around here, so sorry about that. Bad form for the guy with the computer recording this video. So let's just go around the oceans. Looks like we got a little dungeons we can explore, something. Tidal Island. Is that where we're trying to go to, or is that World Panel? Yes, we do want to go to this place, which I just had a markup on. Fastest mark ever. Okay, so we're in the terraces. Monster level 2, town, Twilight Strand, monster level 1, and this is Act 1 of this game. So we have some quests in the Tidal Island. Let's go. And already, let's see, monster level 3, so we're a little stronger. In other words, my face is probably about to get beat here. Oh, that's right, these traps have a cooldown. Oh, it looks like my cooldown are set. Coming in here, so let's actually slash the
short on mana.
Okay. So we need to restore some mana there. I could have ran back to town. I bet there's a town portal mechanic that I'm missing. Let's see here. Can I just click and go back? Maybe. See, this is what I get for not doing that, so. Okay, so there might be a portal that I missed somewhere in the other section. Whoa! Sea creatures, hello. So I just gained another level, that's good news. Resist fire and resist cold damage, so not really worth my time to do that. But I'll still use my traps to fail at softening up people. And I don't need to just strike things all the time. But that lifesteal is helping me a great deal early. So it looks like there's something indicated on the map here. It's a chest, maybe. That chest was a bust. Okay, so we have a small life flask. I just keep running past these items. Maybe I should turn on the option to show everything all the time, just so I don't keep screwing this up. But yeah, that's kind of your first look at this game. It's a action RPG in every sense of the word.
Too much baggage.
And we're just gonna have to figure out. Okay, so I leveled up my skills again. And that's the double strike that leveled, so now it's even more expensive. But yeah, that's Path of Exile, sort of a first look. You have a lot of options to go through. Kill things, fight. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to making some videos of this, especially once I gain some levels. I want to try and get some more experience here, and preferably not die too badly to these guys. And I appreciate any comments you might have in the videos. Said I missed out on... Ooh, I just got stoned. See, this is me getting destroyed. Spam those flasks. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight to end it on, perhaps. Ooh. So who's coming after me? See, I just flasked all to hell there. And we've got somebody here that's still really scary. There we go. So resist cold, cast ice spear. I guess that's what happened. That's convenient. Tell me what spells I was learning. So just gotta take out Hail Rake. You're dead. Good job. And I get a medicine chest. That's a quest item that I cannot hold right now. So we're gonna dump some of these items I don't need right now, especially ones that are taking up a huge amount of inventory space. Coif will take you. Medicine chest will take you. Driftwood wand. I'll take you over the rusted sword. Small mana flask. Because I have a feeling I can sell some of these things anyway. So, hooray, I killed something. I got a quest item, Dr. Shaky Hands. Traveled with one of these. Well, Shaky Hands, what a great name. And we got another superior item. It's an armor item, but I'm surely it's better than our rusted cask. But it requires level 5. But it increases intelligence and gives some regeneration, so, and some resist. I've already had some fire problems. So, looks like this guy's going to be moving on up, or something. So, until next time, whether it's with this guy or somebody else, if you're thinking about getting Path of Exile, I recommend it. There's a lot of good going on with it, and so far the community seems to be really positive. Hopefully open beta doesn't change that. So maybe I'll see you in game.